still much ado about the issue of subscribers' identification modem, that's SIM cards and national identification number, NIN, in Nigeria. Concerns are mounting as telecommunications operators heeded the federal government's directive to bar every unlinked SIM card with NIN on their networks. Now, according to the Nigerian Communication Commission, NCC, out of the country's 198 million phone connections, 198 million phone connections, 125 million SIM cards have been verified and linked to 78 million unique NIN. That means 75 million people on linked SIM will be asked. This is interesting. That's a country as big, so we have a market as big as this. 198 million phone connections. Dr. Ible?
You see, it's the same thing that we have been talking about. In Nigeria, every government comes, brings in what it thinks is a solution to a problem, but at the end of the day, it doesn't solve the problem. You will remember that during Jonathan's time, Chidoka, as the co-marshal of FRSC, said we should all change our number plates. That when we change it, it will solve all the security problem. When you buy a car and you have a number, you can't transfer it to another person. The person will have to re-register.
To a large extent, that thing is working. To a large extent,
to
if
some
you
point,
go to Lagos State
but if it
vehicle
is,
license office, you discover
maybe it's working in
that
Lagos.
plate number. You can, it's not transferable. Your name is what is there, and you collect. You get a text message. If you buy it right now, it comes with your name.
What about other states?
Okay.
Because what is there is you now have a situation where people. Okay, you said we should link our numbers with the national identity. Why is it that up till now we still have almost about 73 million or so that are not linked and they are still working? What the government should do is to make sure that all these things begin to work. Today now, if you go to Ojota, you go to Oshodi and all those places, there's this selling SIM card, which they say they will give you, then it will work for some days before you register it and all that. It should not be.
That's
SIM
the
card,
Telecoms company now.
Exactly.
The ones
why
doing that.
is
It's not meant to be. They're meant to register fully
why
before.
is it difficult for NCC to clamp down on networks that are doing this? There must be a technology for them to know that a new SIM card has entered the telecommunication system, and then you look for the NIN. If it's not there, you pass on the telecommunication company that sold it. But what do we have? Until that is done, we will continue in this. The same phone number SIM card is what bandits, kidnappers, terrorists, or whatever you call them, are using to get across to families. So is it that they don't know? Is it that they are not on the identification number? So what is the problem?
Well, I've seen, I've identified a couple of things. Number one, can the government tell us, out of this 75 million, how many are functional, are in use? Because buying also doesn't translate to usage. Some people don't after a while. I'm not alarmed that we have this number of SIMs.
And some people, they change their number.
I'm sure that you
have
more than one line.
Definitely.
Today in Lagos, one of the networks has been very crazy. You can't make a call. I have the 4 major networks, so I switch. Whether it's for call or it's for data. That's where a lot of Nigerians are. Because even enforcement of these networks working.
That you have to go through the four telcos.
Yes. You keep looking which one is
better, sharper,
wherever you are. And then I also blame the government. You are coming up with a policy not properly thought out, and then you want to start implementation. And I say, take a trip to the NIMC office in Alausa in Ikeja here. Apart from the fact that for about 2-3 weeks at some point, there was no network to connect.
Yes. You go there
was also no generator to power the place. There was also no paper they use in printing. There was also no one with the stamp, the logo of NIMC. So they were at some point printing on plain paper.
Factor.
The day I went with my family to register, I saw about 30 systems all around.
How many are working?
No. Even if all were working. They were even quarreling that some staff stayed away. There were only about 4 people registering that day.
Oh my God.
And you had all the systems there. So I blame the government. Then now government has done something. That is to deregulate, so to say. On your street, you can find somebody who will do it.
Accessible.
Have we responded, sir? Just like they have told us, being vaccinated does not stop you from getting COVID, but it increases your immunity to ward it off, to fight it. How many of us have willingly walked in to the health centers to get vaccinated?
The good news is that I think that is like 38 million. When I read it today, I was impressed.
But
38 million compared to
38 million out of a population of how many? Because we should be doing comparison. We should be comparing. So what it means is that if you are saying people from 16 and above can take the vaccine, how many are in those
category
that have not taken now? So it's a problem with we Nigerians. We don't want to go out of our comfort zone to do anything. No, nothing with them go do me now. If this one no work, I go buy another one. And so we also have a fault in that. We need to quickly walk around this as Nigerians. Change our attitude. Government is government.
Orientation.
Government is government. Whatever the law, whatever the government of the day says is law, that's the law.
There's this kind of lackadaisical attitude on the part of people. No matter, okay, when yesterday it was said that, after 8 attempts, implementing this, government kept shifting, kept giving us grace. And I'm sure if they should extend it till Kingdom Come, people will still register.
Also, that also has to do with the deficit of trust in government, because government itself has not in its own right tried to make people earn the trust in them. And when you don't have when you don't trust somebody, there's hardly anything such a person will tell you that will gel with you. So government also must try in its own way to make people believe in what they are saying. Because today, when you ask many people, they tell you that no, government, it won't work and it won't work. And that's the thing.
Let me pick this call. Augustine is calling us from Port Harcourt. Thank you for staying with us.
Yes, I greet everybody in the studio.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, please, I want to talk about the one Professor Charles Soludo in doing Imo State, Anambra State.
Okay.
That's the issue of the day.
IPOB is not a terrorist organization, even though the international community recognizes it like a peaceful organization. Because I guess in this current government, we got to understand is that when you're saying the truth, they will label you a terrorist. I'm telling you the truth. See what happened as a mom condemned by the government. See what happened. As far as I'm concerned, IPOB is not a terrorist organization. This amnesty wants to give them is not the solution. The best thing to call them to release their leader. That's my own contribution. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your contribution. As we're saying, I don't want us to go back to that.
No. You see, the government itself must work to earn the trust of the people. That is it. Because when a policy is brought out, for the issue of this number plate is still there. It might be working in Lagos, but up till now, in some places,
Don't find out.
it's not working.
Don't find out. This
I once sold a car.
I'm telling you, this is working.
I think for me, in that area, what our advice is, we should consciously monitor our civil servants because they are the biggest problem that we're having with our system. And it's been said worldwide, without an effective civil service, you can't run a successful democracy.
Yeah.
So it means that civil service must also be successful. These are the life wires of this of any government.
Yeah.
When you go to places like that, and what they do is to try to frustrate you, that is the NIMC offices now, into parting with money.
Yeah.
I knew they actually apprehended a few staff, suspended some, sacked some, but that doesn't still inspire confidence in Nigerians to go to that place. The day I went to Ikeja that I told you, as at 6:30 or 6:37, there were over 1,000 people.
AM.
Yes, sir. And out of the 1,000, you have in between families of 6, families of 8, families of... So
were they physically present?
In fact, the queue was up to the gate. It was stretching towards Alausa itself, the main gate. So sometimes you don't even... There was a day I went through that place at about 5:30 a.m. and it was massive, the crowd there. So we should be able to think through some of these things. Treat Nigerians as human beings.
Yeah.
Because you see them in the rain, in the sun, waiting.
Yeah.
And then you ask yourself, do I want to join this queue? So we should, when we want to start our system, be able to ask questions. For instance, if I saw 30 systems just lying waste, what stopped government at that point to recruit people on interim basis?
Yeah.
We need people who are IT savvy. Please, for 2 weeks, come and work with us. You earn 30,000. That creates more opportunities for Nigerians, and not for us to treat us as if we are slaves, as if we are not worth anything. We are just to be punished for what should be our rights.